Well, St. Mary's taking on Frontier in some high school softball action. Third inning, Briley McGrady grounds one that'll be mishandled at shortstop and allows a run to come across as St. Mary's takes a 3-0 lead. Lady Cougars at the plate. Kenzie Livingston drives the ball deep into left, and she'll be into second with a double. Addison Edgar drives in a run here, finding some space in shallow left to drive in the first Frontier run of this ball game. Let's go to the fifth inning. Alyssa Winland lines a ball down the first base line, and she gets into third with a leadoff triple. Next batter, Candace Boley pops up to second base, but Winland able to tag up and score, even though it's pretty shallow fly ball there. Good speed. Lady Blue Devils lead now 4-1. Runner at second, Briley Buck grounds one up the middle, and a run will come across for the second run for Frontier. Now Winland back at the plate. She burns the right fielder here for her second triple of the game as St. Mary's picks up the win 5-3.